All right, dear Manchester United fans, faithful lovers of football, kindly gather here. It is a very interesting topic that I bring to you because we know that Manchester United have a really big problem in that midfield for our team, and you know that Ruben Amorim looks hand-tied because he cannot just pick any player to come play in the midfield. There are reasons why all of these things are happening. Ruben Amorim cannot be experimenting at this time when a lot of Manchester United fans, pundits, and analysts are always criticizing his team selection, his style of play, the system, and the formation. Everything is being criticized about Ruben Amorim. And for this reason, Ruben Amorim is making sure, trying his best to make sure that he silences his doubters. And now this brings me to the topic. Whom or what do you think Ruben Amorim can do differently in the midfield? For me, I'm not going to believe that playing Kobe Mainu or playing Toby Koila or anybody in that midfield is going to change anything because I've watched Manchester United most of the times, and all of these players do not live up to the bidding of a defensive duo or a defensive midfielder that can take Manchester United to glory days. I would give you an example. Look at Martin Zubimendi for Arsenal. Look at Declan Rice for Arsenal. And also, let's look at Ebere Chieze for Arsenal. Tell me in that Manchester United midfield defensive area, who you think is better than these players that I've called, from Casemiro to Ugarte to Kobe Mainu or Toby Collier. Who do you think, including Sekou Koni? Who do you think in all of these players I've called? Who do you think is better than Martin Zubimendi or Declan Rice? Who do you think? Well, like, let us also look at the midfield partnership for Chelsea. They have Moses Caicedo, they have Enzo Fernandez, and one of the persons that came in to replace Moses Caicedo when he was injured is Reece James. And at the end of the day, Reece James had to battle in that midfield and controlled it, right? Who do you think in the Manchester United midfield position in that defensive area will be able to compete with these players? Casemiro is an aging player. In as much as I appreciate what he does for Manchester United, in the end of the day, Casemiro is an aging player and he does not have those legs. Also, to put in those runs and, you know, all of the things that I think that Casemiro might be able to do for Manchester United. He's not doing it because he's limited. His age does not allow him to be that flexible, or he does not have that tank anymore. This is something worrying for Manchester United. Yesterday, in the game against Crystal Palace, we saw Casemiro struggling. We saw Casemiro struggling with pace, struggling to keep up with the passes and all of that. And we saw how they were being run over in the midfield. And that is a problem for me. But then, what is the solution to Manchester United midfield? Because if we look at it, I'm sure that Kobe Manu does not walk into any midfield of the top teams, including Toby Collier. He cannot run into the midfield of any. So let us actually look at what we can do. In the course of this season, I've watched players like Elliot Anderson play against Manchester United. There are three players that Manchester United were rumored to be looking at, and all of these three players have played against Manchester United. And to my understanding, I feel like Manchester United, if we were watching, we have actually seen a midfield partnership that will give Manchester United a lot of solidity at the back and also connect seamlessly with the midfield. I saw Adam Wharton, what he did against Manchester United. You know, it was his pass that led to the penalty to let Len Yoru are giving away penalty. It was that pass from Adam Wharton, and it was not the first time he put in that pass. I saw a more direct defensive midfielder in Adam Wharton, and it was actually something beautiful to watch. You know, I thought that he partnered well with Kamada, but Adam Wharton stood out for me in that match yesterday. We've seen what's his name? Carlos Baleba play against Manchester United with Brighton. In as much as Manchester United is still making Carlos Baleba one of their main targets, but then we saw that he did not affect the game in any way at all. But then when we look at one of the players who have played against us or with Nottingham Forest, Elliot Anderson. So for me, if I was a Manchester United gaffer, or I am the sporting director at Manchester United, for me, I would look at it that we've seen top targets that could come into Manchester United and help us steady the ship in the person of Elliot Anderson and Adam Wharton. I also know that I also know that Angelo Stiller is a very, very good player over there in England, in Germany. But I have always had my reservations for German players. And this is why I keenly looked at Adam Wharton yesterday. I keenly looked at Elliot Anderson, and I felt like with these two in the middle of the park, Casemiro on the bench, Bruno goes ahead to play in the number 10 position. Manchester United will look an entirely different outfit. This is something I want to beat my heart and say that Manchester United will look a entirely different outfit. And then let us look at the wing back position for Manchester United. I think that yesterday, what's his name? Diogo Dalot put in a little bit of good performance, right? And we saw Lisandro Martinez come back, and it was exciting. Then I wanted to see what Luke Shaw would have done for Manchester United in the wing back position. But overall, for me, I've seen two midfielders that can come in and actually give Manchester United that squad depth. Because even though Casemiro has to play from the bench, we know that with Casemiro, we also got quality that can help us whenever the chips are down. But for me, the main targets for Manchester United in the midfield position to this summer window should be Elliot Anderson and Adam Wharton. I know Carlos Baleba is better with moving the ball, all of those things, but I think that Adam Wharton is more imaginative and more creative than Carlos Baleba. Let us think what you know. Let us think what you think. Or what's your opinion in the comment section. I'll see you again in my next video.